The Theater. Have you ever heard of an old game called The Theater? Yeah, I didn't think so, because probably many say it doesn't even exist. You see, The Theater was an old game released around the same time as Doom. Today, if you ever find it, its only available copy, like CD-ROMs, which is more often than not don't even actually contain the game. The actual legitimate copies say that they were released back in the day, feature a blank cover with nothing but a sprite of what has been named the Ticket Taker. He's simply poorly drawn, pixelated, bald Caucasian man with large red lips, wearing a red vest over a white shirt and black pants. He's completely expressionless, though some say that if you mash the disc, his face is shown as angry the next time you look at the cover, though this is just dismissed as an urban legend. What's peculiar about The Theater, though, is that there is no developer name on the jewel case nor the game description on the back. It's simply the Ticket Taker on the white background on both sides. The game initially known for its inability to install correctly. The installation process immediately locks up the computer when the user reaches a license agreement. Also strange about the licensing agreement for The Theater is that whenever the development studio is supposed to be named, the text is simply a blank. Anyways, most people have claimed to owning one of the original CDs say that they figured out how to install the game by simply rebooting their computer on this license agreement with the disc still inside. Then they press I agree on start. Then they continue with installation. If a player supposedly manages to find to what they believe to be a working copy, they say that the installer window will freeze up and stop responding before you can click your first next. But they do also say that their PCs do not lock up. It's only the installer that freezes. It's unknown if these are actual copies or fakes, but it's widely thought that these working copies are just to draw internet attention. There's no proof of installation effects. Upon proper installation, the game then starts up without any introduction besides a main menu. Then this is simply the sprite of a movie theater's exterior on an empty street. The title fades in, and then 3 menu buttons: New Game, Load, Options. Selecting Options immediately crashes the game to the desktop. Load is said not to function at all, even if you have saved the game. Nothing happens when you press it. Thus, New Game is the only working menu option. Once it is selected, you are in the first-person view. You are standing in an empty movie theater lobby, with the exception of the ticket taker standing in front of a dark hallway which no one can only assume leads to the theaters themselves. There's nothing to do but look at the poorly drawn, mostly illegitimate movies posters approach the ticket taker. Once the player moves towards the ticket taker, a very low quality sound clip plays, saying, "Thank you, please enjoy the movie," along with a speech box saying the same thing. You then walk into the hallway and the screen fades black, and you're back in the empty lobby, and you do the exact thing again and again and again. While this may sound like a really horrible game, a number of peculiar things occur as you continue to play it. The number of times that you have to continue into the hall after giving your ticket to the ticket taker before the strange events happen is unknown. Most state that it's completely random and could take anywhere from the first playthrough to the 400th. What happens, though, has deeply disturbed some players. The first occurrence is when the player fades back after walking into the hallway. This time, they will notice the ticket taker is completely absent. The player then, without any other options decides to walk into the dark hallway. The sound clip and text box mentioned previously still play in the absence of the ticket taker, but when the player walks into the hallway, the screen does not fade out. It goes pitch black as they walk deeper into the hall, but the player's footsteps sounded clip is still playing as they continue to push the button on their keyboard. Those claiming to have played the original copy report to have felt extremely uncomfortable walking down that hallway, anticipating the whole way something horrible happening. Well, eventually the player is unable to move forward. There is nothing for a few moments before a strange sprite that is described as the ticket taker, but with a swirl for face, appears and stands before the player. The original player of the game say their bodies immediately froze up and their stomachs churned. They saw the sprite, which had been appropriately named Swirly Headman. Nothing happens as the Swirly Headman stands before them. Then suddenly a piercing screech plays as the game glitches out. This lasts for a few minutes, with screeching being continuous. Then the players abruptly return to the lobby with all the sounds and graphics being as they should be. The game continues normally for the next couple of cycles of entering the hallway, with a couple of the original players claiming that the Swirly Headman would briefly appear and disappear in the corner of the screen as the brisk yelp sound effect plays. And at the same point after meeting the Swirly Headman, the player sees the ticket taker pacing back and forth, though there is no walking animation. The sprite's limbs are completely static, so he just hops up and down slightly as a substitute, with his eyes being wide and his mouth open to simulate a worried facial expression. Some players noted that the movie posters had been replaced with the images of Swirly Headman, which have caused them to immediately turn their character's head away from the posters and approach the ticket taker. Then another different low-quality sound clip plays, but this speech box contains nothing but corrupt characters that cause whatever text that would be in the box to be completely illegible. Due to the extremely low quality of sound, it is debated by the players what exactly the ticket taker says at this point, though it's widely agreed that he says, "Never reach the other levels." Then the screen fades out once again and returns the player back to the starting point in the lobby. But the ticket taker is gone and the hallway is blocked in a large brick wall sprite. Touching the wall will immediately crash the game, and that's all there is to it. No one knows what the other levels are or how to gain access to them, nor it is known why the Swirly Headman causes such acute fear in those who have seen him in the game. All the original copies of the theater have been either lost or destroyed, but the creepiest part is the fact that all the original players of the game claim to occasionally see a brief of a glimpse of the Swirly Headman out of the corner of their eyes. I hope you enjoy this story. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more spooky stories. I deeply apologize for any background noises that are not part of the story itself. I can't really help that. But anyways, please enjoy The Story Nevertheless, and goodbye.